Welcome to The Road Less Traveled with Tiffany Rosenbaum. This podcast is about sharing the success and failure of entrepreneurs. Join in and learn from others' mistakes so you don't have to go through the same hardships in business. Now let's welcome your host, business coach, real estate investor, and proud wife and mom, Tiffany Rosenbaum.
Rebecca, we're really excited to have you on the podcast again, and we're excited to tell your journey. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and we'll get going back and forth in Q&A, but we want to learn about what you're doing and how your company's going. But first of all, what was the motivation to start your company? And tell us the name of it as well.
Hi, yes. Thank you, Tiffany, for having me on the podcast. This is exciting, and I'm excited to be here. So my business name is Beloved Motherhood, and what we focus on is birth, postpartum, and breastfeeding support. So I'm essentially a doula business. So I do birth doula, postpartum doula, and I'm a certified breastfeeding counselor as well. And basically, that whole thing came around when after I had my miscarriage, I realized that I had this very strong sense or passion for motherhood, right? And all my life I've grown up taking care of babies, taking care of kids, and I just thought that I would, be a teacher, that I had a passion for babies and stuff like that, but I did eventually burn out with that. And then I realized that my passion for babies came from a passion for motherhood. And I didn't realize that until I became a mom and then lost a child myself.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of where that all kind of blossomed from. So I started looking into midwifery, but decided that was a little too on call because I had a infant at the time. So I decided to take the route of doula work and kind of started the trainings there and everything like that. And the more I learn about it, the more my passion grows. And the more that I work with mothers, the more my passion grows. And to me, it's not just seeing cute babies be born, right? It's that moment at the end of the birth when the mom tells me that she feels amazing and that she says she feels like she couldn't have done it without me, but really she did all the work.
Well, that time's a really emotional time for a woman.
It is.
And when a woman has a child, they're questioning themselves about everything pretty much. So starting this business up, it sounds like it came out of some heartache. And I find that a lot of people do come through business coming from heartache or something needing to solve something. Tell me about the journey and what does it look like to start the business up? Because doing something for fun is one thing, but really starting a business is another. Can you tell us your journey on that?
Yeah, so like you said, doing something for fun, like a hobby versus a business, two very different things. For me, it was more of like I wanted to start it like right. So I took the trainings first. And then after I did the trainings, I started thinking about what I wanted my name to be, my business name and stuff like that. So I came up with my first name, Family Blessings Birth Services. And that was very intentional because I am a faith-based doula, so that's where the blessing part comes from. The family part was I wanted to be very family-focused in my business, not just mother-focused, because I feel like the father plays a huge part in it as well. So I wanted it to be very family-focused. And then I put an S at the end of blessings because I wanted it to convey that children, whether you have one or multiple, so if you have like twins or whatever, they're all blessings, right?
They are, but some can be more stressful,
Yeah, exactly.
I think people that have twins and quadruplets, I'm like, you are amazing.
Right. I actually have a client right now with twins. She's absolutely amazing.
Takes a lot.
So that's how I came up with the name, Family Blessings, and then Birth Services, because I didn't know if I wanted to expand from just doula work or if I wanted to stay just a doula, and I felt like just putting Family Blessings Doula was going to limit me to just doula work.
Okay.
So the name came about very intentionally, and then I started, telling my family and my friends about it and getting out there, meeting more doulas and everything like that, and that's kind of how that all started. Now I'm in the process of a rebrand to where we're changing the name to Beloved Motherhood, and it is still very family focused, but in this rebrand, we view the mother as the heart of the family. Like the father is the head of the family and the mother is the heart of the family. And if the heart is nourished and taken care for, it gives life to the rest of the body or the rest of the family. So that's kind of where this new rebrand is coming from. There is a focus on the mother, but we still very much include the whole family union.
So when you say rebrand, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
Do you have a website? Are you rebranding all that?
So the website.
What are you rebranding exactly?
So I started with just rebranding the name and the vision, right?
Okay.
Where the name now is Beloved Motherhood, and I feel like that's going to take up a little bit more mental space. Whereas Family Blessings Birth Services was such a long name, I felt like it was hard for people to remember, right? So I felt like Beloved Motherhood would be easier to remember. Beloved is also one of my favorite words, which is why I chose it. Not only is it a term of endearment, but it also is a reminder, if you split it up, to be loved. And I want mothers to remember that they deserve love just as much as their newborn or their child or even their husband does, right? Mm-hmm. So there was also a lot of intentionality with rebranding that name. And then I rebranded with my vision. So my vision isn't just to focus on the mother. I still want to focus on the whole family unit, but I find myself working with mothers more specifically because, I am a woman. So, and we tend to work better. And then I work with the husbands, but, men talk to men easier than they talk to women and stuff. You know what I mean? So I figured my audience would be more feminine. So I did change to motherhood, even though initially I was like, I want it to be family because I don't want it to isolate anyone. And then changed up the vision to look kind of more like that and to look a little bit more as the faith-based doula that I am. Now I am working on rebranding my packages currently. So I'm going to add a couple more packages and see where that kind of can help more of my audience members. So that's really exciting that those are all going to be coming out here soon.
When you say rebrand your packages, go into that a little bit more because we've talked before.
Mm-hmm.
Are you at market? Are you below market? Like, I know when we talked, you were very into trying to find a way for people to be able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about your packages.
So I do still want to be able to be affordable to most people. And one of the things before, I don't remember if I mentioned this last time we talked, but one of the things before was I only had one package. And I did that because I wanted people whoever came to me, they were going to get the same thing every time, whether they, instead of like seeing an expensive package and they're like, I want that, but I can't afford it. And then, you know what I mean? But now I'm realizing with clients who are now coming back to me, they don't necessarily need the 2 prenatals and all that stuff that I taught them initially the first time I worked with them. So I'm going to be adding on a package for returning clients or quote unquote late to hire a doula. People who maybe decided within their last month that they wanted to hire a doula and they can't spend over $1,000 for that in the last month. So I'm adding that. I'm also going to add a bigger package, which is one of the things that I wanted to not make people feel bad about. But what that's going to do is that's just going to incorporate some of my postpartum doula hours into it instead of offering more for the birth, if that makes sense. So I'm still kind of figuring out the little nuances of what all is going to be included in that, but that's going to be more of a blended package between birth and postpartum.
When you talk about the packages, though, I want to go a little bit deeper into this. Like, the doulas that are out there,
Mm-hmm.
Are you comparably priced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do run a little bit more on the affordable. There are some who are a little bit cheaper than I am. But generally speaking, you're going to get a doula for about $1,000 to $2,200, depending on which package you choose and which doula you go with. I run between the $1,200 to $1,400 price mark right now.
Okay, so you're about $800 less-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're a lot less.
Yes.
Let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay.
Because as a business owner, it's your value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why have you decided to go so much cheaper and undervalued compared to other companies? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Honestly, probably a confidence level.
Okay. No, that's what I find a lot in business owners.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they start a business, they're like, but,
Right.
I only know so much, or I don't want to get the rejection of I can't afford it, right? So it's so different. We're going to come back to that because that's
Okay.
a really good one. And I don't want to, because you are valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And what we charge a lot of times determines what we value our time as.
Mm-hmm.
And the time and effort you put into somebody, you can't take on other clients if you take them on at such a cheap price. So I want you to think about that a little bit. But what are your goals for your company next 6 months, next year?
So my goals for the next 6 months to a year is we are working on growing actually right now, because I realized that what I wanted to do since we last talked, there's been a lot in motion since we last talked.
It sounds like it.
Since we last talked, I realized that what I wanted to do, and the fact that I wanted to do it alone, I don't have the capacity for it. I wanted to be able to be a solo doula and everything like that. But in order to do that, I was only taking 2 birth clients a month and stuff like that. And that just was not bringing in enough money for my business to be sustainable. So I ran some numbers, realized that I needed to take in more birth clients or focus more on postpartum, which is something which is schedulable. The birth was hard because I have 3 kids under 5, and that's really hard to find an on-call babysitter for those ages, right? So it was one of those things where I had to really think about either growing as a business or scaling down a little bit. So what we're doing now is we're in the process of growing. I'm going to focus a lot on my postpartum. I will still take on some birth clients, but I'm going to try to fill up more in the postpartum area. And I've also acquired a new doula in my area to help kind of take on the birth load as well for Beloved Motherhood. So there'll be 2 of us instead of just 1 of us on the birth team. So that's exciting. I also have recently met a sleep consultant who will be joining the team as well. And she'll be either giving sleep plans, or we'll be coupling our businesses, where her sleep plan is going to be coupled with my overnight postpartum doula work, so that I can help support mothers while they're sleep training. Because you'll notice that with a lot of sleep consultants, they do support, but they support virtually. They're not in the home with you, which can make it a little difficult. So her and I were talking about that, and that's still in the talks area. We still want to see how that's going to work for us, but hopefully that will be coming soon too. So focused on growing right now.
Yeah, no. So do you have someone that's focused 100% just on sales? How are you bringing in new clients? Because that's the growth. That's the lifeline of the business, right?
Right.
If we want to grow, someone's got to be focused on sales all the time. And what I find is a lot of entrepreneurs are, well, I do it. Well, if you really break down the time, how often does an entrepreneur really have time just to focus on sales and bring in new clients? Because it sounds like you have an awesome thing going, that you're bringing in another doula now, you're bringing in other consultants so that your team can expand. So who's focused on sales?
That will probably be me. Because I'm still going to be the image and the face of the business. So I'll still be fielding the consultation calls and stuff like that, and then passing them to like, okay, well, you want the sleep consultant, let me connect you with her. And so that will probably be me. So you're
leading them the leads.
Right.
So if you're leading them the leads, how much, like, you're charging something, which is very cheap. We'll talk about that. But and it's not against, a lot of entrepreneurs do this.
Yes.
A lot of them. And so when you pass it off, what margin, because you're having to pay her, so what margin are you keeping?
So right now, that's something that I need to discuss with the sleep consultant, because she's coming in from her own business, right? The birth doula that I've acquired, she just finished her training. And so she's coming in brand new, and I will be mentoring her and stuff like that. So I'm throwing around the idea of a 70-30 split for her and I. If it's her client, like if she goes to the birth and does all the prenatals on her own, then she'll get 70% of what the client is paying me.
And then if you help her and you go with her, what would she get?
When I'm going with her, she's more shadowing.
Okay.
So she's not getting
like an internship instead. She's learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be more of like an unpaid internship at that point. And when she feels ready to start doing it on her own, then that's when she'll start.
So you're doing it as a 1099 contractor instead of a W-2.
Yes.
Which is very smart in this industry.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're going to be upping your prices after we've talked all about this, because otherwise 70-30 is not very much in the essence of what. But you're about $800 underneath market, right? I know when we went to the event, someone even said, "Oh, she was my doula. She's amazing."
Yes.
Like, think about that. What would $800 do for your business to be able to grow on each client?
That would, cover ad space and stuff, which would be bringing in the consultation calls and stuff like that. So,
which would allow someone to take the phone calls,
right?
this is a really needed business. It's a very important business. But I find that what you said was, and I'm very grateful you opened up about it. 9 times out of 10, when someone undercharges, it comes through confidence. So I'm grateful you opened up about that, because you're not the only one that feels that way. Everybody that gets in business, a lot of times it's like, oh, I'm overcharging. You're not.
Yeah.
You're worth it. And when you add value, they see it.
Right.
And what you're doing, you're adding value. Sleep and soul and other things, it can be very beneficial to charge what you need to charge so that you can hire someone to take the phone calls, the ad spend, everything else that a business. And as you grow, it only gets more expensive. It doesn't get less expensive. It gets more
spend money to make money.
No, I love that you said that, because it's really true. You have to spend money to make money a lot of times, especially when you're building a business. So do you have a roadmap to where you want to grow your business to, your end goal?
My end goal, I don't really know if I have like an end goal yet. Okay. I'm just kind of, honestly, I'm kind of just taking it where God leads me right now. I know a lot of doulas are in it to like advocate for women's rights, reproductive rights, and to be a voice for other women and stuff like that. And it's never really been a calling of mine to change the world like it is for a lot of people. I just want to help people. So if I can change the world for one person versus changing the whole world, that's enough for me, really. So I just kind of go with the clients that need me and see kind of where it takes it from there. And then, God laid it on my heart after some of the brainstorming stuff that I needed to expand if I wanted to help the people I wanted to help. So that's why we're expanding, and we'll just kind of take it from there. At some point, maybe it might be nice to grow my business to the point where I could leave it to, one of my sons to run as a legacy thing. Since I don't have any daughters, but that's something that is like so far in the future that I haven't even really caught a glimpse of that yet.
So let's dive into this, because this is another thing I really see, which is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. But to really grow a business, you got to have a roadmap. So what I recommend for homework is go home, put an end goal, not where you're going to sell it, but be prepped to, because it's a very profitable business if you do it right. Put a roadmap out. What's your goal? Because that day when your son's old enough, it's going to come faster than you think.
Oh, no, I think that's what scares me about thinking about it.
My sons they're already in high school. I don't want to have very many more years with them. And I'm like, I blinked and it passed, right? We blink and it goes, oh, what happened? So it's going to be here before we know it. And a lot of times I see businesses, when entrepreneurs get into it, they go through this maze, but they don't have a map to the maze. So they hit all these roadblocks. But in reality, if you put a roadmap out and you go, hey, this is my goal, this is how much I want it to be worth, this is how much money needs to be coming in monthly, and this is the steps, then work it backwards and say, these are steps I got to take to get there. It doesn't have to be in 6 months. It doesn't have to be in a year. But then you can create this roadmap that takes you through the steps, and every decision you make goes off of that roadmap. And it makes it where all of a sudden when you're going through this maze, you don't hit as many roadblocks or like, oh, where am I going? Or plateaus, because you have a roadmap to where you want to go. So I love that. So you're building your team. That's amazing.
Yes.
What's the ultimate vision for your company?
The ultimate vision for my company. I just want to love on moms, So the Bible verse I have set for my business is Isaiah 66:13, and that's where God says, "As a mother holds her newborn son, so I will hold you. I will hold you in Jerusalem." That's ultimately that. I guess is the vision. I want people to know that they are loved and nurtured and cared for when they are in our care, and that's not really gonna change the world, like I said, but that's going to make a big difference, because if you can do that for one person and they can do that for other people, that's where I think where the difference is going to be made.
You said you're not into changing the whole world, but if I could change one, do you understand by changing one, you do change the whole world? Like you have an opportunity, like you're doing something great, because the people that go through and say, I want to change the entire world, 9 times out of 10 don't, because it starts with one. So what you're doing is really changing the world, which I admire. It's amazing. Because with one mother, that mother affects multiple children. And everything you touch will touch something else. So, do you have anything else that you would like to share with us, or where can they find you? That's what I would say.
So my website is still under the Family Blessings name.
Okay.
We haven't changed that yet. We changed, like, when you go there, it says Beloved Motherhood, but the URL is still familyblessingsaz.com. So you can find me there. You can also find me on Facebook, Beloved Motherhood. My Instagram is Beloved Motherhood AZ. I don't really post a lot on Instagram. So
Okay.
I don't know which is more important, Facebook or Instagram, but don't really post a lot on there. So those are some of the places that you can find me. I have a contact form on my website, or you can send me a message on Facebook. So
Hey, one other question is, do you know how many leads that come in a day for you? Do you know that number?
I don't right now, because since we've kind of slowed down a little bit on kind of fielding those in, since I'm doing the rebrand and building the new things. But here soon I'll be running my new ad space for what's coming, so we'll be able to get a better idea of it then.
Okay, I like it. That's another thing. Sometimes I find that entrepreneurs, they don't always know their numbers. Actually, every entrepreneur goes through this phase. So it's nothing against one entrepreneur. It's learning their numbers and learning how to hone in on those numbers so they can grow. Because your goals are amazing, where you want to grow your company this year. There's certain things that need to happen, and I think you're going to take off. I appreciate you coming in today. I really do. It was a very enjoyable discussion, and I'm excited to see where you take it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll keep you updated for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in today to The Road Less Traveled. If you're organizing an event, workshop, or simply planning something exciting and would like to have Tiffany Rosenbaum join you, or want to have her on your podcast, visit tiffanyrosenbaum.com and click on Book Tiffany to get started.